I know how much pride we take in our homes, especially our bathrooms. It's the one place we want to feel peaceful, fresh, and clean. Whether we're expecting company or just getting ready for the day, a clean-smelling bathroom sets the tone for the whole house. But lately, have you ever walked into your bathroom, even after a good cleaning, and thought, something still doesn't smell quite right? Not strong, not awful, just not fresh. You're not alone. In fact, more and more doctors are pointing out that many women over the age of 60 are unknowingly making small mistakes in the bathroom that lead to lingering odors, especially that faint urine smell no one likes to talk about. And here's the thing. These mistakes aren't about being dirty or careless. They're simply habits we picked up over the years that don't work as well anymore. Our homes have changed, our bodies have changed, and sometimes our routines need to change too. So, in today's video, I'm going to gently walk you through 7 of the most common bathroom mistakes that could be making your home smell less than fresh. Some of them are easy to miss. One of them, I'll admit, I have been doing wrong for decades. And number 6, that one broke my heart when I realized what it was doing to me. I'll not only explain what these mistakes are, but I'll also show you simple, senior-friendly solutions you can start using today. These are realistic tips that honor your dignity, your comfort, and your desire for a clean, welcoming home. So make yourself comfortable, and let's get into it one thoughtful step at a time. Mistake number 1, ignoring the base of the toilet. Now, let's begin with one of the most overlooked areas in the bathroom, the base of the toilet. And I get it. When we clean the toilet, most of us naturally focus on the bowl. Maybe we scrub inside, wipe the top of the seat, maybe even polish the handle. But here's what often gets missed: the floor area where the toilet meets the tile or vinyl. This one caught me by surprise too. A few months ago, after my daughter Lily and her family came to visit, I noticed that something in the bathroom didn't smell right. I had already cleaned the sink. I'd scrubbed inside of the toilet. I even changed a bath mat and lit a candle, but the odor lingered. So I did something I hadn't done in a while. I got down on my knees with a flashlight and took a good look at the base of the toilet. And what I found, let's just say it wasn't pretty. There was a ring of dust, old hair, and a faint yellow stain circling the base like a shadow. I hadn't noticed it because, frankly, I hadn't looked that low in months. The truth is, over time, small splashes from urine, especially if you live with men or boys, can collect at the base of the toilet. And if your bathroom floor has tile with grout, that grout can absorb and hold odors like a sponge. Even a clean-looking floor can be hiding smells. Doctors say this is one of the most common causes of that faint urine scent that just doesn't seem to go away no matter how often you mop. And for those of us who struggle with bending or kneeling, it's easy to miss. But don't worry, there's a gentle fix. If getting low to the floor is uncomfortable, you can find long-handled cleaning tools that are specially designed for seniors. I have one with a bendable head and a soft scrubbing pad. Once a week, I give the base of the toilet a quick wipe with warm water and a disinfectant that contains enzymes. Enzymes break down the odor at its source. It only takes a minute or two, and the difference in smell, you'll notice it within a day. Trust me, it's worth it. We all deserve a fresh, clean space, top to bottom. Mistake number 2, using fabric toilet mats. Now, let's talk about something cozy, soft, and unfortunately kind of gross. Those fluffy fabric mats that wrap around the base of the toilet. I know, I had one for years. Mine was a lovely seafoam green that matched my towels. It looked good, it felt nice on my feet, and I thought I was being fancy. But one day I bent down to pick up a dropped earring from the mat, and I caught a whiff of something unpleasant. It wasn't strong, but it was definitely there, a sour, stale smell that didn't belong in a clean bathroom. And here's what I didn't realize at the time. Those plush mats, no matter how good they look, are basically sponges. They absorb moisture, every little splash from the toilet, every bit of steam from the shower, even water from the sink. They all sink into that fabric. And when urine splashes, even just droplets, it gets trapped in the fibers. Doctors say, unless you're washing those mats in hot water with a strong detergent at least once a week, they can hold on to odor-causing bacteria. I was only washing mine every 2 or 3 weeks, thinking that was enough, but it wasn't. Now, I've switched to something simpler and, frankly, much easier to deal with. I use a rubber-back, machine-washable mat that I place outside the splash zone. Sometimes I skip the mat altogether and just wear cozy slippers in the bathroom. That way, I don't have to worry about damp fabric, clinging to the floor, or holding smells. And if you really love the look of a rug, go for a washable cotton one that dries quickly and doesn't sit directly around the base of the toilet. Your bathroom will smell fresher, and you won't have to dread laundry day quite so much. Little changes like this might seem small, but they add up, and they give us more control over our space, our comfort, and our peace of mind. Mistake number 3, flushing the toilet with the lid up. This next one made my skin crawl when I learned the science behind it, because I have been doing it wrong for years, decades really, and I bet a lot of you have too. It's the simple habit of flushing the toilet with the lid up. Now, it seems harmless enough. You finish your business, press the handle, and walk away. But what most people don't realize is what happens the moment that water swirls and flushes. When you flush with the lid up, a fine, invisible spray is released into the air. This mist can travel up to 6 feet, and it carries with it tiny particles of whatever was in the bowl. That means urine, feces, and bacteria are being misted into your bathroom, onto your counters, your hand towels, your soap pump, your toothbrush, even your face cream. It's called toilet plume, and it happens every single time you flush with the lid open. The worst part is you can't see it. So everything may look sparkling clean while still holding on to odor and germs you didn't even know were there. When I found this out, I felt both horrified and strangely relieved. Horrified because I realized I've been unknowingly contaminating my own bathroom, and relieved because the fix was so simple. Now I make it a non-negotiable habit. Lid down, then flush every single time. If your toilet doesn't have a lid, I strongly encourage you to get one installed. Most lids are inexpensive, easy to attach, and can make a world of difference in the freshness of your bathroom. I also started keeping my toothbrush inside a drawer and swapping out my face towel every few days instead of once a week. These are small changes, but they've made a noticeable difference. Remember, just because we can't see something doesn't mean it's not affecting us. This is about protecting your space, your health, and, yes, your dignity. Mistake number 4, not cleaning under the toilet seat and around the rim. Now here's one that might make you a little uncomfortable, but don't worry, we're all in this together. It's the mistake of not cleaning under the toilet seat and around the inner rim of the bowl. For years, I thought I was doing a good job. I would wipe down the top of the seat, scrub inside the bowl with a toilet brush, and call it done. But one day, during a deep cleaning session with my granddaughter, Mia, I found out the hard way that I was missing a spot, an important one. She offered to help me clean the bathroom. And while I was wiping down the mirror, she got curious and lifted the toilet seat completely off the bowl. She looked at me and said, "Grandma, did you know you can take this off?" I didn't. But sure enough, with just a little push and twist, the entire seat popped right off. What we saw underneath made my heart sink. There was a buildup of grime, dust, and dried urine in the little crevices where the seat attaches to the bowl. And around the rim, those curved areas just under the lip, there were stains and residue I had never noticed before. Out of sight, out of mind, right? But unfortunately, those hidden spots are where odor-causing bacteria love to hide. Even if the rest of your bathroom is spotless, these little areas can hold on to smells that seem to come from nowhere. Doctors and cleaning experts recommend removing the toilet seat once a month, or at least every few months. To clean thoroughly around the hinges and under the seat, use a disinfectant spray or a natural solution like vinegar and baking soda. Let it sit for a few minutes, then scrub gently with a toothbrush or a small brush. Don't forget the rim inside the bowl, where the water flows out. That's another place where residue can build up and cause a persistent odor. And here's the good news. It doesn't take long. Once you've done a couple of times, you'll see how quick and easy it is. Just 5 extra minutes once a week can keep your bathroom truly clean, not just on the surface, but in those hidden areas too. It's not about being perfect. It's about being thorough in a way that works for you. Mistake number 5, improper disposal of incontinence products. This next topic is delicate, but it's something we need to talk about with honesty and care because it affects so many women, quietly and often in silence. I'm talking about the way we handle and dispose of incontinence products. Now, first, let me say this. If you're using liners, pads, or adult briefs to manage incontinence, you are not alone. In fact, millions of women over 60 deal with some form of bladder leakage. It's a natural part of aging for many of us, and it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But even though the condition is common, most of us were never taught how to manage the smell that sometimes comes with it. And here's the mistake. Tossing used incontinence products into a regular bathroom trash can and letting them sit for too long. I'll share my own experience. When I first started using liners at night, I just tossed them in the little bin next to the toilet. I'd line it with a plastic bag and change it every few days. I thought that was enough. But little by little, I began to notice a faint but persistent odor, like something sour, something off. Every time I walked in the bathroom, even after I cleaned everything, the smell seemed to return. Eventually, I realized it wasn't the toilet or the floor, it was the trash. Even though I closed the lid, the smell was slowly building up from the used products inside. Doctors say this is more common than most people think. Urine residue and disposable products can release ammonia odors, especially when left in warm, enclosed spaces. And if you wait too long to take out the trash, that smell starts to creep into the room and stay there. So what's the fix? It's actually simple, and it brings back a sense of control and dignity. First, I got a small, covered trash bin that closes tightly, not one of those open-top baskets. Something with a proper lid that seals shut. Then, I started using scented or deodorizing liners inside. But the real game changer, I began sealing each used product in a small disposable bag, just like the kind people use for pet waste. You can get them at most stores or online. They're discreet, affordable, and easy to tie shut. Now, every evening before bed, I empty the bin. It's just part of my routine, like brushing my teeth or locking the door. And let me tell you, my bathroom has stayed fresher, more peaceful, and most importantly, more private. Managing incontinence is already hard enough without worrying about lingering odors. You deserve to feel clean, in control, and unbothered in your own space. These little habits aren't about being fussy. They're about honoring your comfort, your home, and your confidence. Because the truth is, our bathrooms are not just functional places. They are quiet sanctuaries. And you deserve to walk into yours and feel peace, not stress, not shame, just peace. Mistake number 6, forgetting to clean the wall behind the toilet. This next one is something so many of us overlook, and honestly, I didn't even think about it for most of my life. It's not because we're careless. It's just one of those hidden spots we forget exists until the smell starts to tell us otherwise. I'm talking about the wall behind the toilet. Now you might be thinking, who cleans the wall back there? And I understand, it's not a place you normally look. It's tucked away, hard to reach, and easy to forget. But it turns out it's one of the most common sources of that lingering bathroom odor, especially if you share your home with men or boys. Even the cleanest bathroom can start to smell off if the wall behind the toilet isn't wiped down regularly. Why? Because when men stand to urinate, tiny splashes, so small you may not even notice them, can land on the wall. Over time, those little droplets dry up, leaving behind an invisible residue, and eventually that residue becomes a source of odor. The tricky part is it happens slowly, so you may not notice it until one day you clean the whole bathroom from top to bottom, and something still doesn't smell fresh. I remember the exact moment I discovered this. I had done a full deep clean, scrubbed the toilet, wiped the floor, changed the towels, even sprayed a little air freshener. Everything looked spotless. But when I stepped back and took a deep breath, there was again that faint sour smell I couldn't seem to get rid of. So, out of curiosity, I walked around the toilet, got close to the wall, and wiped it with a damp cloth. To my surprise, the cloth came back with yellowish tint. That's when I realized I'd never once cleaned that wall, not in years, and I had grandsons visiting every other weekend. From that day on, I added one simple habit to my weekly routine. Once a week, I take a soft microfiber cloth and a gentle cleaning solution, usually just white vinegar mixed with warm water, and I wipe down the wall behind and beside the toilet. I don't scrub hard, especially if the wall is painted. but I make sure to get a good wipe across that area. If your walls are tiled, you can clean them a bit more thoroughly. And if bending is hard for you, a long-handled cloth mop can help without straining your back. The difference? Night and day. That stubborn odor disappeared within days, and the bathroom has felt fresher ever since. It's easy to overlook areas that aren't in plain sight, but sometimes the biggest results come from the smallest changes. And when we take the time to care for these little forgotten places, we're not just cleaning, we're restoring a sense of calm and control in our homes. So if you cleaned everything and still catch that mysterious smell, take a few moments to check the wall behind your toilet. A quick wipe once a week can make your bathroom feel truly clean, not just on the surface, but deep down where it counts. And remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's peace of mind. You deserve that every single day. Mistake number 7, leaving damp towels hanging too long. This last one may seem small, but it has a big impact on how your bathroom smells and how fresh it feels. It's something almost all of us do without thinking, leaving damp towels hanging too long. Now, I'll be the first to admit it. I used to do this all the time. After a shower, I'd hang my towel on the hook behind the door, figuring I'd use it again tomorrow. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't, but the towel would just stay there, slightly damp, soft to the touch, but never quite dry. One morning I walked into my bathroom and caught that subtle sour smell. It wasn't strong, but it was enough to make me pause. I had just cleaned the toilet, wiped down the sink, and replaced the mat. What could it be? That's when I leaned in close to my towel, and there was a damp, musty scent that had settled deep into the fibers. It wasn't visible, but it had become part of the fabric. I suddenly realized how often I had left towels hanging, sometimes for 2 or 3 days, without letting them dry properly or tossing them in the wash. Here's what doctors and cleaning experts say. Damp towels are one of the leading causes of bathroom odor, especially in older homes with poor ventilation. When a towel doesn't dry fully, it becomes a breeding ground for mildew and bacteria, and those tiny organisms give off that unmistakable musty smell. Even if you can't see anything wrong, your nose knows, and over time the air in your bathroom starts to feel heavier, less fresh, and harder to keep clean. But the fix? It's so simple. First, try hanging your towel on a wide towel bar instead of a hook. Hooks tend to bunch up the fabric, which prevents air from circulating and slows the drying process. A bar lets the towel hang flat and dry more quickly. Second, after a shower, leave the bathroom door open or crack a window, even for a few minutes. Letting the steam out helps both the walls and your towels dry faster. And finally, don't be afraid to wash your towels more often. I know many of us grew up hearing, you don't need to wash a towel after every use. And that's true to an extent. But if it's still damp the next day, go ahead and toss it in the laundry. You deserve the feeling of a fresh towel, and your bathroom deserves the smell of clean fabric. Personally, I keep a small basket of rolled up towels under the sink, just a few extras so I always have a dry one ready. It's a tiny thing, but it's changed how I feel every time I step into my bathroom. No more mystery smells. No more damp fabric hanging on the door, just a little piece waiting on a hook or folded neatly nearby. And let's be honest, at this stage in life, we've earned that peace. We've earned the right to feel clean, cared for, and surrounded by freshness. So don't think of it as just another chore. Think of it as one more way to nurture yourself, a small act of care that says, I matter because you do. A clean bathroom, a peaceful mind. A clean bathroom, a peaceful mind. Well, ladies, there you have it. 7 small but powerful bathroom mistakes that so many of us make without even realizing it. And more importantly, 7 gentle, doable ways to fix them. Not overnight, not perfectly, but with grace and in your own time. I want you to know this video wasn't made to judge or criticize. It was made to support, to uplift, and to remind you that taking care of your home isn't just about looking clean. It's about feeling at peace in the space you live every day. It's about honoring the effort you already give and offering a few new tools to make it just a little easier. Because the truth is, this stage of life can be challenging. Our bodies change. Our energy changes. What used to take 10 minutes might now take 30, and that's okay. You're not falling behind. You are adapting. you're growing wiser, and you're still always worthy of a clean, calm, comfortable home. As we get older, our relationship with our homes evolves. A clean and peaceful home becomes a testament to our self-care, a personal sanctuary we've built over a lifetime. It's a place where we can relax, recharge, and feel a deep sense of security. Taking these small steps to manage our living spaces is more than just a chore. It's an act of love for ourselves. It shows that we value our own comfort and well-being, and that we deserve to live in an environment that reflects the beauty and wisdom of our years. These tips are about maintaining that quality of life, ensuring that your home remains a source of joy and not a source of stress. The subtle scents and lingering odors we've discussed are more than just nuisances. They can subtly affect our mood and our sense of calm. By addressing them, we create a more restorative and welcoming atmosphere for ourselves and for those we love. So, let's embrace these simple changes not as burdens, but as opportunities to enhance the peace and comfort of our homes, one thoughtful detail at a time. It's a journey of self-kindness, and every step, no matter how small, makes a world of difference. So if you found yourself nodding along, or if any of these tips helped you see your space in a new way, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these 7 surprised you the most, or share one of your own tips. I know this community is full of smart, thoughtful women who figure out all kinds of solutions. And if this video brought you value, consider liking it. It helps more women just like you find these gentle reminders. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Echo Mind, where we talk about everything from home care to health to emotional wellness, all tailored to life after 60. Until next time, remember this: a clean bathroom isn't just about impressing guests. It's about giving you a space that feels good, smells fresh, and reminds you every day you are cared for, you are deserving, and you are absolutely not alone.